here's the thing. For everybody listening, don't make the same mistake the Bengals just did in any facet of your life.
People are going to get hurt. It's the hockey season.
What about the Jared Cook play on the sideline?
I was very tempted to just put defense.
I'm saying it right now. If Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs, they don't make it out of the first round.
Come on, Austin and I have been saying this ever since Joe Burrow got injured.
I don't really think the Dodgers are going to make the World Series this year. I feel like they'll make it to the NLCS.
The Fernando Tatis extension, because that really surprised me.
Like you said, Ovechkin, he's getting older. He hasn't been playing as well as I imagined. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, but he hasn't started off this season as hot as I would hope.
Hi, I'm Jeff Allen, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. You know, it's been a little bit since we've done a top 10, even top 15, but we're still in the NBA offseason, and the man returning punts, returning kicks, Austin.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that good at it, but I do try to return some of your comments.
Oh, okay. Well, you do a great job. I don't know if you can. I feel you can return a kick or a punt, or you can do a fair catch and not muff it.
I could fair catch one. I feel like you gave me the opportunity, I could do it, but I would have to know that I was not going to get decked after I fair caught it.
Yeah, that could be a future short. We will see. But yeah, these guys don't really muff it, and if they do, they shouldn't be on our top 15. So we do have some punt returners. I did give some love to the punters, but also you gotta give some love to the kickers.
Yeah.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. Naheem Hines, who is out for the year with after the accident he had away from Bills camp, and Cairo Santos, the kicker for the Bears. Those are my two honorable mentions.
Yeah, I only have one. Well, Naheem Hines is also one, but you and I both. I forgot about him. My another honorable mention is Cameron Dicker, Texas legend, and I believe I saw him kick in high school for Southlake. Yeah, I believe it's Southlake. he was kicking it into the back of the end zone, and I feel he'll be on this list someday, but he's not on my list right now. So my 15 is Taysom Hill. I feel Taysom Hill is a good player on special teams. You can sometimes see him make some of those special tackles. He also has other value, but he's a guy that I think at least deserves a mention in a top 15 slot.
Yeah, I didn't put him here mainly because I don't consider him a special teamer like I do some of these other guys that still play. My number 15 is Cowboys kicker Brett Maher. I know he had that gaffe where he missed so many kicks or so many extra points, I should say, but
Future
I still believe
Jeopardy question. Brett Maher.
Yes, very future Jeopardy question. It won't be soon forgotten, but I do have him at number 15. He had a great year besides that.
Yeah, he's not on my list. I just don't trust him, given the way it ended. But yeah, so who's your 14?
My 14 is Graham Gano. Gano had another great. Oh wait, Graham Gano. Graham Gano. Gano had another great last year with the Giants. He's obviously a former Carolina kicker, but he's just so consistent. 90.6 field goal percentage, along at 57, and he really made a lot of clutch kicks for a competitive Giants team.
Yeah, that's a good pick. My 14 guy is Kadarius Toney. He's someone we kind of saw returning punts for the Chiefs, and he was sort of electric, and I believe he'll build off that this year.
Who is your 13?
My 13 is the first punter, Andy Lee. He's been there for a while, and I don't know how I feel about punters because I feel it's not good when you're punting the ball, but Andy Lee is a pretty good punter. I believe he's still free agent, but he was good for the last year, I believe. I think he was on the Cardinals last year.
Yeah. My number 13 is a punter, AJ Cole the third. He is the punter for the Raiders, and I mean, like you said, I don't have many punters on here. I do have, let me count, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 punters on here. And while punting the ball is not necessarily what you want to be doing, if you have a great one, he can really flip the field.
Yeah, I have 5 punters, and I also have like 5 kickers. I gave him some balance, but they're not. It's not punter, 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 then kicker, kicker, kicker. There's a mix, and then there's also punt returner, kick returner, but yeah, that's a good pick. AJ Cole is on my list. Who's your 12?
My 12 is Kevontae Turpin. He made a lot of dynamic plays for the Cowboys last year, and while he didn't score a touchdown in the special team game, he made a lot of big plays. I mean, he also made a big one against the 49ers.
Yeah, he is my 12 as well, Kevontae Turpin. Really just kind of that punt returner, kick returner last year. And he did have a far one against the 49ers. I just think there's something that leaves me wanting more from him. I feel he could have taken a turn in that 49ers game and maybe it was a touchdown, but 6-1, it's 50-50 when you're looking back at it. My 11 is AJ Cole. You talked about him. He's a great punter, and that's why he's on this list.
My 11 is Matthew Slater. He's still in the league. He's still proficient. He did not make the Pro Bowl last year, which is very unlike him, but he was still a very good player. The Patriots have 2 individuals on this list. They always have a great special team. And yeah, I think Slater definitely shows how good you can be and how proficient and important you can be on special teams.
Yeah, he's a good pick. My number 10 is another punter, Brian Anger for the Cowboys. I feel he's a really good punter, and he kind of just showed up out of nowhere. And I believe he has been to a Pro Bowl.
Yes, in 2021.
I'm not sure. Do they do all pros for special
Yeah.
teams?
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 10 is the All-Pro one for the punters this past year, Tommy Townsend. The Chiefs do not punt all that often, but when they do, they have a great one.
Yeah, it seems like just a luxury thing for the Chiefs. Yeah, we don't like to punt, but we also have an all-pro punter.
Yeah.
But who is your number 9?
My number 9 is Keyshawn Nixon. He's a returner for the Green Bay Packers. He was amazing last year for us. We didn't have many bright spots, but Keyshawn, who led the league in kick return yards with 1,009 and a long of 105 when he scored his lone kick return touchdown. He had an approximate value of 9, which is extremely high for a player who mainly only played special teams. He did have a lot of defensive snaps for a special teamer, playing in 28% of snaps, but not a crazy amount. He was mainly just a return guy, and when he did return, he was amazing.
That's a good pick. My number 9 is Devin Duvernay. He's kind of a speedy guy for the Ravens. I feel he can be a good returner for them. I'm not sure how good of a wide receiver, but I think that speed helps him in punt returns and kick returns.
Who's your 8?
My 8 is Tommy Townsend. One of the best punters out there, and that's why he's pretty up on the list, even though he is a punter.
Yeah, I punters should get their due, especially on a special team list.
Yes. And then, so who's your 8?
My 8 is Keen Nogwanu, and he is a returner for the Vikings. He scored 2 touchdowns in his rookie year, but last year he only scored 1. And I say only. He had the most kick returns for anyone in the league. He was an All-Pro, second team member, and 955 all-purpose yards. He had a great season.
That's good. It's a good pick. I feel you have a lot more returners than me.
Yeah, I guess so.
But who is your number 7?
My number seven is George Odom. He's a pure special teamer. He was All-Pro 1 with Indianapolis in 2020. This year, All-Pro 2 with San Francisco. He does not necessarily play all that much on defense. He only played 38 snaps this year on defense, but 79% of special team snaps, and he is a special teamer. He's done well. Again, 2 All-Pro teams, 1 first team All-Pro in 2020, and then this past year All-Pro 2.
My number 7 is the final punter of this list, Ryan Stonehouse. He had the highest average. He also had a lot of punts, 90 punts. He was for the Titans, but I think he does really well. And that's because he had the highest average. That's why I put him up on this list.
Okay, who is your 6?
My 6 is Cordell Patterson. To me, he's the best returner. He's really dynamic. He's also a dynamic running back, but I remember even in his Viking days, he was a great return man, and he had some electric kickoff returns.
That's a good pick. My number 6 is Daniel Carlson, kicker, obviously, for the Raiders. He was All-Pro 1 this year for kickers, and that's because he had a great season. He made a very, very, very high percentage of his kicks, to be exact, 91.9%, 97.2% extra point percentage, and he just he made a lot of kicks for a Raiders team that really struggled.
Yeah, he's on my list, and who I believe it's your turn at 5.
Yeah, my 5 is Jason Myers, the kicker for the Seahawks. Myers, someone that barely beat out Daniel Carlson. They made the same amount of kicks and made the same, missed the same amount and made the same amount at 34 for 37, which is 91.9%. But instead of 97.2% on extra points, Jason Myers went 97.6. So I gave the edge just by 0.4% extra point percentage. And Jason Myers, he was a Pro Bowler last year, probably should have been All-Pro 2, but he had a great year. And so I give him kudos for that.
That's a good pick. My number 5 is Matt Prater with the Cardinals. Really good kicker. He's been doing it for a long time. He has the leg. And when I was looking at his stats, he went pretty good. He missed a couple in the 40 to 49 range and just missed one outside of the 50 to 59 yards. And to me, he's a really good kicker, and he's someone I can trust.
Who is your 4?
My 4 is Greg Joseph. To me, he's also a good kicker. And my top 5 is kickers because I feel kickers are the most important special teamers. Just because when it comes down to the line, I need to trust in the field goal. And that's something that that's something we saw that could have hurt the Cowboys in that Maher missed it in the Bucs game and the extra points. And those points add up. So that's why I put kickers top 5. And it's just a list of the 5 best kickers, even though returners are also very important.
Yeah, I only have 2 kickers in my top 5. My number 4 is Johnny Hekker, one of the best punters in the league, and in my opinion, the best. Hekker, even though he's not no longer on the Rams, and that's probably for the better now because the Rams have really fallen off since he left, he's still one of the best punters in the league. He tied his career high in approximate value. He's just extremely, extremely consistent, and he just keeps chugging along.
That's a good pick. And your number 3?
My number 3 is Marcus Jones, a returner for the Patriots. He had a huge return this year in many games and was extremely, extremely important for wins. He had an approximate value of 10. He led the league in punt return yards, punt return TDs, punt return long with 84, and yards per return. So he was extremely proficient in all of those factors. He also played 37% of defensive snaps with 370. He also had 645 kick return yards. Normally it's just a kick return or a punt returner, but he did both and was very good at both. He had 1,172 all-purpose yards this year, all of those being returned.
That's a good pick. My third is Harrison Butker. He dealt with a lot of injuries last year, but to me, he's still a very good kicker. But because of the injuries, that's why he's third on the list.
Who is your 2?
My 2 is Daniel Carlson, as you mentioned. As you talked about him before, he's a guy, given what last year, I would feel pretty safe trusting him to kick.
Yeah, I like that. My number 2 is Cordell Patterson. Patterson did not get many opportunities to be a kick returner, but when he did, he broke the record for the most kick return touchdowns by a player in a career. He has the most ever. He's the best kick returner of all time, in my opinion. He had only 9 returns, but a yards per return average of 31.6. He had a 102-yard return and a touchdown. Let him keep returning the ball as long as he wants, because when he does, he can be electric.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm assuming we have the same number 1.
I would not be shocked.
My number 1 is Justin Tucker. I believe he's best kicker in NFL history. He's a guy I can feel pretty calm when he's kicking a field goal.
Even when it's from 65 yards. I'm sure we have the same one because I also have it. I don't think it was even close with number 1.
Yeah, he's best kicker, and this is just something I wish you could get right when you do kickers or special teamers, because to me, kicker is the most important thing when I'm doing special teams.
Yeah.
I liked how we had different lists. You had a lot more returners. I just can't really grade. It's tough for me to grade returners.
I understand that. It does take a lot of practice to do that. And they're very hard to grade because every return is different. If you don't have good blockers in front of you during a return, you can get less yards. But also it takes a lot of skill to break those out. So I have a lot of respect for returners. It's a very hard job to be good at.
Yeah, and the main thing is just don't fumble the ball. And guys I had on this list I can think of, I think rarely fumble the ball.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people that fumble the ball a lot are not picked to be a returner in the first place.
And I believe that concludes our list. Let us know what you think about this list. We really appreciate you listening and to Outsiders' Opinions.